Hey, this is Josh from Hansens. A lot of people may not know, but we are a full-service ski and snowboard shop, and I just wanted to briefly touch on a few points when you're looking to maybe buy a new pair of ski boots. First, when you come into the shop, I normally am asking our customers, do you have any loyalty to a certain brand? If you do, but maybe you haven't purchased a pair of boots in 10 years, you might want to start with that brand. A lot of times you'll find that fit over even 10 years, there will be some consistency there. It's a good starting point. If you don't have any brand loyalty, then I would tell you that you just start working through each and every brand. Now keep in mind, every brand is going to have a different last. Some are going to be a little higher volume, some are going to be a little bit lower volume, and then obviously within each brand there's going to be a more advanced boot, and then an intermediate boot, and also a beginner boot. But again, some of those questions need to be talked about, but then from there, again, assuming you're not going to have any sort of brand loyalty, go ahead and work through all of those boots. Now, as far as the actual fitting of the boot, we can get very technical, and we have guys here who will, wedge a boot, grind on a boot. We can do all of those technical things. I'm going to talk very generally as far as a fit. Once you're going to try on a boot, the first thing you want to pay attention to is once you're in that boot and the boot is buckled down and you're standing vertical, you should be feeling the front of that ski boot. You should be feeling, your toes should be touching the front of the toe pocket. As you flex into that boot, your toes should move off of the front of the toe pocket. We find a lot of customers want to fit themselves in a boot that's too big because it feels comfortable. We want a boot to be comfortable, but it needs to be as comfortably snug as possible because you will eventually get some pack in that boot. So assuming the toes are feeling the front of that toe pocket, as you flex in, then you want to also make sure that your heel is not lifting out of the heel pocket. Heel lift, you can get your heel to lift if you try, but your heel should fit nice and snug in that boot. From there, we want to try to keep a customer in a boot for as long as possible. Through the process of fitting boots, they might be in a boot for 5 or 10 minutes. You'll start to get a feel for how that boot is feeling on your foot. If you're in a boot for 30 or 45 seconds, a minute, you're just not going to get a real true feel of how the boot is fitting. After that, say 5 or 10 minutes of being in the boot, and they decide it is a good fit and that's the boot they want to go ahead and purchase, we always tell our customers, go home and wear it around at home for as long as possible. The more time you can be in a ski boot before you actually go and ski, the better. If you do find a hot spot develops on your foot, you can bring it back to the shop and we can address that situation. But those are kind of the basic general points of boot fitting. One other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is flex of a ski boot. Personally, and you might get a different answer from a different boot fitter, but I tend to try to push people into a little bit softer flexing boot. I feel like people tend to ski in a stiffer boot or a boot that's too stiff for them. So flex. Make sure that you're keeping in mind when you're flexing in a boot at room temperature around 70 degrees, 74 degrees in the shop. We try to keep it out up here, that when you're out on that ski hill skiing, that temperature is going to be 30, 20, maybe 10 degrees. So flex is going to change significantly between room temperature and out on the hill. So keep that in mind as well when you're fitting a boot.